In today's video, we are going to explore best Rabindranath Tagore quotes and poetry about life. Let's get started. All that is not given is lost. All the great utterances of man have to be judged not by the letter but by the spirit which unfolds itself with the growth of life and history. Clouds come floating into my life, no longer to carry rain or usher storm, but to add color to my sunset sky. Day by day thou art making me worthy of the simple, great gifts that thou gavest to me unasked, the sky and the light, this body and the life and the mind, saving me from perils of overmuch desire. Death is not extinguishing the light, it is only putting out the lamp because the dawn has come. Death, you are no different to me than my lover with cloud-colored skin, and your hair a mass of dark cloud, your hands like blood-red lotus, and your lips the color of blood. Death's stamp gives value to the coin of life, making it possible to buy with life what is truly precious. Even he whose near ones have all died, one by one, is not alone. Companionship comes for him from behind the screen of death. Everything has sprung from immortal life and is vibrating with life, for life is immense. For what are obstacles to the lower creatures are opportunities to the higher life of man. From my heart comes out and dances the image of my own desire. The gleaming vision flits on. I try to clasp it firmly, it eludes me and leads me astray. I seek what I cannot get, I get what I do not seek. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy. If it is necessary to die in order to live like men, what harm in dying? If life's journey be endless, where is its goal? The answer is, it is everywhere. We are in a palace which has no end, but which we have reached. By exploring it and extending our relationship with it, we are ever making it more and more our own. If my heart is breaking, let it break. That will not make the world bankrupt, nor even me, for man is so much greater than the things he loses in this life. The very ocean of tears has its other shore, else none would have ever wept. If you cry because the sun has gone out of your life, your tears will prevent you from seeing the stars. In death the many become one, in life the one become many. In pleasure and in pain I stand not by the side of men, and thus stand by thee. I shrink to give up my life, and thus do not plunge into the great waters of life. It came to be the natural rule of life with him, that no one should add to the burden of the world, but that each should try to lighten it. It is the same life that emerges in joy through the dust of the earth into numberless waves of flower. King, they work, because they must. We work, because we are in love with life. That is why they condemn us as unpractical, and we condemn them as lifeless. Let all the strains of joy mingle in my last song, the joy that makes the earth flow over in the riotous excess of the grass, the joy that sets the twin brothers, life and death, dancing over the wide world, the joy that sweeps in with the tempest, shaking and waking all life with laughter, the joy that sits still with its tears on the open red lotus of pain, and the joy that throws everything it has upon the dust, and knows not a word. Let life be beautiful like summer flowers and death like autumn leaves. Let me think that there is one among those stars that guides my life through the dark unknown. Let your life lightly dance on the edges of time like dew on the tip of a leaf. Life is given to us, we earn it by giving it. Life is perpetually creative because it contains in itself that surplus whichever overflows the boundaries of the immediate time and space, restlessly pursuing its adventure of expression in the varied forms of self-realization. Life itself is a strange mixture. We have to take it as it is, try to understand it, and then to better it. Life, like a child, laughs, shaking its rattle of death as it runs. Life's aspirations come in the guise of children. Life's errors cry for the merciful beauty that can modulate their isolation into a harmony with the whole. Man is immortal, therefore he must die endlessly. For life is a creative idea, it can only find itself in changing forms. Now it is time to sit quiet, face to face with thee, and to sing dedication of life in this silent and overflowing leisure. O master poet, I have sat down at thy feet. Only let me make my life simple and straight, like a flute of reed for thee to fill with music. Only in silence I find myself. Life in the city is so hectic that you lose the right perspective. It's important to know that our biggest resources are in our heart. The birth and death of leaves is part of that greater cycle that moves among the stars. The child, who is decked with prince's robes and who has jeweled chains round his neck loses all pleasure in his play, his dress hampers him at every step. In fear that it may be frayed, or stained with dust he keeps himself from the world, and is afraid even to move. Mother, it is no gain, thy bondage of finery, if it keep one shut off from the healthful dust of the earth, if it rob one of the right of entrance to the great fair of common human life. The fundamental desire of life is the desire to exist. The more one lives alone on the river or in the open country, the clearer it becomes that nothing is more beautiful or great than to perform the ordinary duties of one's daily life simply and naturally. The most important lesson that man can learn from life is not that there is pain in this world, but that it is possible for him to transmute it into joy. The night kissed the fading day with a whisper, I am death, your mother, from me you will get new birth. The one who plants trees, knowing that he will never sit in their shade, has at least started to understand the meaning of life. The same stream of life that runs through my veins night and day runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measures. It is the same life that shoots in joy through the dust of the earth in numberless blades of grass and breaks into tumultuous waves of leaves and flowers. The shroud that covers me is a shroud of dust and death. I hate it, yet hug it in love. My debts are large, my failures great, my shame secret and heavy, yet when I come to ask for my good, I quake in fear lest my prayer be granted. The tragedy of human life consists in our vain attempts to stretch the limits of things which can never become unlimited, to reach the infinite by absurdly adding to the rungs of the ladder of the finite. They knew that mere appearance and disappearance are on the surface like waves on the sea, but life which is permanent knows no decay or diminution. This frail vessel thou emptiest again and again, and feedest it ever with fresh life. This little flute of a reed thou hast carried over hills and dales, and hast breathed through it melodies eternally new. Thy infinite gifts come to me only on those very small hand of mine. Ages pass, and still thou pourest, and still there is room to fill. To thee, my fire. Thou hast been burning in my heart all these futile years. If my life were a piece of gold it would come out of its trial brighter, but it is a trodden turf of grass, and nothing remains of it but this handful of ashes. When death comes and whispers to me, your days are ended, let me say to him, I have lived in love and not in near time. He will ask, will your songs remain? I shall say, I know not, but this I know, that often when I sang I found my eternity. When I think of ages past that have floated down the stream of life and love and death, I feel how free it makes us to pass away. Whenever our life is stirred by truth, it expresses energy and comes to be filled, as it were, with a creative ardor. This consciousness of the creative urge is evidence of the force of truth on our mind. You are invited to the festival of this world and your life is blessed. Please let us know your favorite quotes from these best Rabindranath Tagore quotes and poetry about life in the comments section. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.